Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. And welcome to the final wrap-up of the 5th Annual Christmas Marathon. We are less than an hour away from the last bells of Christmas Day when it reaches the international date line. Oh, it's been a bit of a trip getting here.
Yeah, it's only 48 hours.
Thank you, Santa.
Yep. I did actually get some sleep in between in this one, so.
We've both been here for 48 hours now, and each of us has gotten some sleep here and there. And even just a couple hours here and there, it makes all the difference in the world. I feel perfectly awake right now.
Yeah, well, for me at this point, I'm going pretty much on getting up near 24 hours without sleep, so I'm fading.
Hi, Greg. Hi, Arto. Arto, I've never met you before. I've seen your name for a while here today, but I've never met you before. Hi, nice to meet you.
Yep.
See, I feel like I should be more awake given that I just slept for 8 hours, but I feel absolutely fucking knackered.
Well,
that's okay. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you around in ages.
That's true.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. I've been very distracted trying to get into uni stuff.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I've got my first couple of essays back. I got a first and a 2-1.
Very good.
So that was ethics and philosophy of mind.
Philosophy
and then
of mind? That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm in my first year of a philosophy degree, so I'm going to be covering various, probably more obscure topics.
Yeah, Aunt Jen, that is in his job description.
Yes, cat is assigned to keeping human away from keyboard.
That is how cats do things. Though quite often they just want to join in.
I've always been used to dog level interference of typing, and because I've always had big dogs, and they can kind of like just come up to you and throw your arm away so hard it'll dislocate your shoulder. When they want something, they get it. All right. Don't bite me. Oh God, I miss my dog so much.
So we're finally getting to that. That's just for the last stream when everyone starts really feeling it. You know how we know.
Yep. Oh.
So, is out there in the chat anybody from American Samoa or Hawaii or anybody Vietnam? Aleutian Islands, Korea. New Caledonia? I guess not.
Yeah,
Doesn't look like it.
This is the arrangement Sammy and I have had to come to. This is a typical position with him in my lap.
That's adorable.
It's better this way than when he drapes his arm over the keyboard and tries to help me. so that he's like randomly pressing things on the 10 keypad.
A friend of mine just bought a second keyboard, sat it next to the first one, and just let his cat sit on that one.
Totally makes sense.
Anybody who's mightily excited to be here, Autistic Page, we're mightily excited to have you.
Well, thank
Mightily evolved to be here.
Yeah, I kind of stole that one from Minnie Pearl because I just thought it was hilarious.
Yep. And yes, we have a couple of new people here.
Minnie Pearl. God, I haven't heard that name in decades.
I'm new.
I just stated
I
myself.
love the tag on Minnie
Yeah.
Pearl's hat was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, and those she always wore those blue check gingham dresses with the puffy shoulders and lace ruffles. Lace ruffles.
The Grand Ole Opry.
I'm new. I'm new to the internet. So is it true, Stephanie, that you can use a Google to search for monkey wands?
It is true. It is true.
And they blow bubbles.
Mm.
Howdy.
Mm.
Do they?
Yes.
Madge, are we still talking about monkey wands? I
Yes.
don't know what time it is. I have no idea.
Yes,
I know
these
it's early
monkey.
for a lot of you people. Apparently, in Jennyland, it's about 4 a.m.
Yes, these monkey wands blow bubbles.
I don't want you to ever say that again, Madge.
They blow bubbles.
Please never say that again.
They'll blow anybody.
It is 1000 hours Greenwich Mean Time, Stool.
Yes, I should know this because we invented time in Britain.
Yeah, in Greenwich, specifically.
Was it specifically?
Specifically.
Okay,
Mark-
well that's Greenwich Mean Time. What about Greenwich Nice Time?
I love bear hugs.
Mark, what numerical day is it about to happen there? And what time is it?
Who are
I
you
just have
asking?
a lot of problems orienting myself to the Australian time zones, and it's too confusing for me, so I have to ask. And I won't take the answer from anybody but someone in Australia. Sorry.
Oh, fine. Be that way.
Well, see, I've got a world clock, and it tells me one thing, and then I talk to people on here, and they give me another number for
It depends on what part of Australia you're in.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, I understand that, but we're talking about what city I'm wanted for, and I get two different answers, and
Yeah.
and I try to count, and that doesn't help, and
Yeah, I think Australia spans 5 time zones.
I hope you all are observing. This may not be a monkey wand, but it is one of sorts.
okay, it's 6:15.
Blows bubbles.
Oh, it's one for big bubbles.
So that means
I don't know if you
Oh,
people are seeing
PM.
what I'm seeing, but Stephanie's screen for me is very
Well.
choppy at the moment. There's a bit of a breaky down thing going on.
Yeah, okay, so that means Mark Caesar's 14 hours ahead of us.
yeah, and when you're on the West Coast,
Yeah, Mark, which major city are you near?
Perth, I'm going to guess.
I'm going to guess that too.
Oh yeah, he did say on the west. Okay, Greg Hartwig said that in Sydney it's 9:15.
Am I audible or do I need to do
Okay.
computer
Nope,
thing?
we can hear you.
Yeah.
You're audible. Am I visible?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Stool, we can hear you. We were just trying to ignore you.
Yeah, it's like we can hear you. We're not necessarily saying it's a good thing.
Jeff, it sounds like you've got a headache.
Not too bad actually.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mark.
you've got a headache, I can tell.
Oh, Method, is that one half an hour off?
Yeah, there's one time zone that's a half an hour.
That's
or-
right. Now I remember. Yeah, somebody showing me a map with that. I forgot there was one area that's half an hour off.
See, I end up. This is part of my dyscalculia. I described it earlier as being I have problems inverting numbers and things like that. This is one of those things. When I wanted to know the difference between time here and there, I can't remember which direction I have to go to count how many hours, and then I can't remember how many hours at all. And it's just the number. It just does not. The rules for the conversion just does not stick in my
Yeah.
head. And
I've
I don't know why, but it's just one of those things that. Another one is when you're if you I don't know if any of you set points on a gap on a points in a card distributor. I can never ever remember which direction I turn the screw to make the contacts of the points to widen or narrow. Even though it's staring me right in front of my face, I still can't remember. I have to actually move it for it to register in my head which way it's going.
Yeah, I have that a lot
Righty
too. And
tighty.
with the time zones, I have that of a lot of times I screw it up and I forget whether I'm supposed to add or subtract 6 hours for the UK.
Righty tighty. Lefty loosey.
That's actually kind of a very common neurodivergent thing.
Yeah, well, the other thing with my dyslexia is, they used to say for which one was your left hand to hold them out, and the one that makes an L is your left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's not really useful when I'm dyslexic and I flip the letters.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
son's
this is true.
dyslexic, and he just told me a couple of weeks ago that he had the hardest time knowing left from right, and I never knew that.
But
Well,
if
it
you- but if you
doesn't
want to
help
hold
me
an
that
L in-
Sloth Girl still doesn't know her left from right. So,
But
like,
if you
when we're
wanna
in the
hold
car
it-
and she's giving us directions, I keep telling her, don't even try, just say my side, your side.
You know, I think one thing that
I
works
had a
really
very,
well for that is
very
wearing a ring, putting a ring on one finger, and that way you know.
I had a very, very difficult time telling left from right. But the thing that I always refer to, this may sound strange, when I was 2.5 years old, I burned my left foot severely. And I always, to your left, I always look down to my feet to this day to figure out which direction is which is
Yep.
strange.
No, I get that. That
See,
I've had times that I've had an injury and I can't remember, if that's the right side or the left side I've got it on.
Yeah, see that I never forget. That just sinks in.
Yeah, I was with someone the other day. We were walking around, and I said next left, and then they put up their hands to look at left and right, and then they still turned the wrong way. And I think a nearby person in a car laughed, and then they felt really insecure about it. But it's like, I've made that mistake.
I need to ask a question. Perps, is this the final part of the Christmas thing?
Yep. This is it.
Really?
Yep. In
It's
less than an
flown
hour,
by.
we will be done with this for another
Totally
year.
flown by. I've enjoyed every fucking minute of it.
Well, and Stool, you have been very good. You have been on your best
Been a
behavior.
very good boy, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you have.
You've been
Oh my
incredibly
gosh.
courteous.
Jenny just agreed that I'm a good boy. Wow. That's
I,
something.
Oh no, actually, you've been very, very pleasant, and I've enjoyed your company all last 2 days.
Yep. And you
Okay,
have
now
your
do the
beard quite neat.
punchline. Now do the punchline. Come on, I'm ready.
No, no.
Okay,
You
but
have your
lead on.
beard quite neatly trim, and you were looking downright dapper.
Dapper. Well, that's an old word. The only
I
person
would
apart
say
from me
spiffy.
who would use that word ever
I would say
in
spiffy.
this stream would be Stephanie. Because I think I've done a special thing today.
Oh, now see, they're demon or that means nothing to me. Green or red, which I can never remember which is right or which is left on port and starboard.
Port wine red.
mhm.
But that means nothing to me. Red what? You know.
Well, port has 4 letters.
Mm-hmm.
Left has 4 letters.
That's exactly how I remember.
Okay,
Learned to
all right. I've
remember it.
never heard that one. That might sink in.
Yeah, funny. The
Ba-dum-tsh.
way I remembered heard vertical and horizontal is version stay standing, horse lay down. I know it's not exactly the PC, but hey, worked.
Well,
I
feel
know
very
the
ashamed
history
about
of how
this.
port and starboard got their names, but
I understand all the nautical terms, so I'm really sorry.
What's
feel
really odd is the fact that in the UK you leave the channel markers are opposite.
I believe
don't know
they
what
are
to do.
actually, yes.
Can
They're
somebody explain
opposite
this one?
what
I
they
don't know what
are
channel
in
markers are.
North America.
what's a channel marker?
What's a channel marker? I don't understand this one.
If you're going if you're going into a channel,
Yeah.
it's in the US it's red right returning. So if you're coming in, you leave red marks to port. No, you leave red marks to starboard. You leave green marks to port.
Mhm.
In
Yeah.
the UK,
I think we do it the
it's
other way
the
around here.
exact opposite.
I've just learned a new thing today. Thank you, Stephanie. I was not aware of this.
It's fucking what? And the reason is that the Americans reversed the channel markers so that the Brits, when they were trying to sail up Narragansett Bay, would put themselves up on Brenton Reef.
I think we can all agree
In
that
our
everything
section
that
of the
is called is
Mississippi up
called.
here, it has red and green buoys marking the channel of the river because there's definitely some deeper parts that you can go in and other parts that you better not.
Well, that's right. That's what channel markers are. So it's red right returning. So if you're going into port, if you're going in to a particular place, you leave the red marks on your right. Except in England, you leave the red marks on your left, which makes total sense. It makes more sense to leave the red marks on your left
But
because red is port, green is starboard.
Right.
So why would you
got
leave
this,
the
Stephanie, wait. We've got this river, okay? Goes kind of north and southish. And they've got this line of buoys. And one side of the buoy is red and the other one is red, white, green.
It's green.
Okay, you say so if you're going to return it right, it goes right?
If you're going upriver, if you're talking about going,
then that's assuming that I'm going south on the river, and that's because that's going to make my red on my right.
No, if you're going upriver, you'd want to leave the red marks in the United States on the Mississippi. It's mighty Mississippi. You'd want to leave the red marks on your left. I'm sorry. Going upriver, you want to leave red on your left and green on your right.
Oh man, this is too confusing for me. And now, what about the
Red.
rocks that are on
No,
a
I'm sorry. I got that completely opposite. So red, right, returning. Returning is upriver. Departing is downriver. So red, right, returning, you'd leave the red marks on your right and the green marks on your left.
Okay, now on a boat and on an airplane, there are red and green lights to indicate right and left. Which are those?
Well, red is port, green is starboard.
Mm. So the moral
Red
of
is port,
today's
green is
lesson
starboard.
is
Okay. I'll forget by tomorrow.
yeah. I'm slightly worried because
Yes,
you've
exactly.
just
Port outward, starboard home.
you've just spent
Exactly right.
21
Yeah.
minutes
That's
talking about
that's the
this.
British thing. That's not the American thing.
Okay, well, you're saying one's British and one's American, but what do all the other countries use? You know, is there any kind of like
The
worldwide
Canadians
standard?
follow the Canadians follow the U.S. Standard.
And I would bet Mexico does too.
Probably. I think it's a North American thing.
Yeah, and if Mexico does, then the rest of the continents do. South America and Central. And of course, we
Usually-
drive on the correct side, and the British drive on the wrong side.
Usually, yeah, here we go. Usually,
Here
I'm
we
the
go.
only British. I'm the only British in the village. That's a joke, Jeff. You'll get the reference.
Yeah.
It's nice that Jeff is here, even though he's a communist, because I now don't feel personally responsible for everything that we've done as a country to fuck everybody else's lives up. I'm going to let Jeff take all the blame. Go ahead. Mock
Oh yeah.
Britain. Jeff is here.
Yeah. Okay.
Bring it on.
So-
Bring it.
Yeah. Blame me.
Hashtag blame Jeff. Because
Oh,
fucking
if you-
blame
oh.
Stu was a thing 2 years ago. These cunts,
Well-
Stephanie.
No,
Hashtag blame Stu.
I am keeping Blame Math Pig alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stool, that's why you're off the hook. It's all Math Pig's computer tonight.
Mhm. This is true. I'm literally doing nothing with my hands.
So I would do the hashtag blame Stool. It's just that Stool doesn't know how to how to do a hashtag.
Fuck you.
We established that yesterday.
You fucking cunt.
Maybe
not
Stool
normal,
went
Jeff.
smoked the hash already and he can't find the
That's
tag
not
it
normal,
came
Jeff,
with.
because most people would have forgotten about that little incident.
Hey, Junie.
Hey, Junie.
Hey, Junie.
Hello.
Most people would have forgotten Stool, but you know me, I'm petty and I will hold these things over people for years.
You are very petty, Jeff, and that's why I love you. Because, you know, I remember about 75 years ago, fuck you, Greggy Poos, I love you. I remember about 75 years ago, Jeff, I had to teach Jeff how to do football because the poor lad, he doesn't understand sports. So I taught him about the footballs and the crickets and the one that you do in the water. That thing.
Polo.
Darts. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do darts in water?
I'm really good at the sports, Stephanie. Shut up.
Okay.
Just go with it, Stephanie. Just go with it.
I'm going with the flow because it's in water.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to play water polo and I nearly drowned the horse.
Yeah.
I need Stephanie to use her special Google powers.
Oh
but
dear.
not about the monkey wand.
I used to
Can
love
we
playing
please
water
not,
polo.
can we please not
Yeah,
talk about the monkey
I
wand
bet.
anymore? That's history.
I think you
I
bring
bet.
a horse
Well,
to
What's that, Junie?
Stop hashtagging shit, Mark, for fuck's sake.
Okay, Junie was saying something, but she's too quiet. I didn't hear it.
Sorry, my voice is almost gone. No, like I don't think you bring a horse to play water polo.
well, I once bet a tenner on £10 on a greyhound to win a greyhound race, but apparently the jockey fell off.
Yeah, and besides, you're supposed to not use regular horses. You're supposed to use seahorses for water polo.
Yeah, well, I wasn't able to find a
There you go.
seahorse that was quite large enough.
I think we've reached that point of the annual festivities where we're scraping the bottom of the barrel for the really shit jokes.
Well,
You
what do
can
you
bring a
expect after
horticulture, but
48
you
hours?
can't make her think. There you go. That's
You keep a variety show going 48 hours and still have good jokes in the last hour.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Oh,
and now I'm in the Pauline seat, so I don't know what to do.
Okay, can we rewrite the
no.
Blame Canada song to Blame Stool?
Stop blaming me for everything,
Playing
please.
stool. Playing stool.
I know
No,
I'm
it doesn't
British, but please stop blaming me for everything.
Okay,
It's not
Sorry.
my fault.
sorry.
Also, Robsky, this is hilarious because I picked up on what Robsky said about Come On Eileen. You weren't there, Jeff. I'm giggling now because Come On Eileen is just literally the funniest name for a song ever.
It is.
Okay,
It's
yeah, I
also
guess I
a
didn't catch that one.
stupid song.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's a stupid song? Because I will argue about this.
I'm actually gonna agree that it is a silly song.
Oh,
But
dear.
then again, I don't know if there's a serious song that band ever did. So
Okay, now this is now personal, Jeff. And even though you're
see, I'm not just gonna diss that song. I'm gonna
I'm
diss on
quite-
Dexys Midnight Runners. Full stop.
I had to do the thing yesterday where you argue about Die Hard. I've done it. I've been there. I'm over it. Jeff, Come On Eileen is a fucking classic. Don't fucking disagree with me.
Yes,
It is a
but it's a
classic.
Christmas song.
Look, I'm doing this. I'm doing the finger of seriousness. I'm not. I want to say something really smutty, but I'm being a good boy. I really am. No, Jeff, you'd be so super proud of me this year. I've been such a good boy. I really.
Yeah, still, you forget you were on my stream yesterday. Okay, I know a lot of the things that you said, so I beg to differ about you being a good boy and very well behaved.
Okay. Well, I might have forgotten about anything that happened that was more than an hour ago.
Yeah,
Don't sue me. Yeah. So whatever. What happens in Jeff's stream stays in Jeff's stream.
To be fair, to be fair though, you were not the only one misbehaving there, so you know you kind of do get a pass.
I've got no recollection of this whatsoever. Was it fun? I think it was. I didn't marry you, did I?
No.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, so who did he marry?
Oh shit! I've not gone and married somebody again, have I? Fuck.
He was gonna propose to me, but the way he wanted to propose was put in the chat hashtag will you marry me, but we had some trouble there.
You're a cunt, Jeff. I love you.
But he couldn't spell or he couldn't find the hashtag.
Yeah.
I also hate you, Jenny. I can find the fucking hashtag, Kate.
Now you can.
I can't find the fucking hashtag. Look, I'm posh. Mac, keyboard. I can't
Okay,
find the
who-
fucking hashtag
Who
key.
has at
Who
some
here
point
is actually
dialed
called
8675309?
309. I have not.
No, I never have either.
Nope.
Oh, that was a
It
bit.
is my number.
I may have
That was
done it on a rotary phone.
Robski. I don't know what a Robski is, but chits and giggles have been provided. Come on, Eileen. That's not a command. It's a suggestion. I'm not good at words today.
You have run out of words. You've been
Oh.
doing this for too long.
Yeah.
Jeff,
I
I've
just
got to
wonder. We got. I mean, I'm still muted at the moment, but like, Chaos must be thinking to themselves, "Damn, this is the level. You know, this myself and Stool here are the ambassadors for British people. It must be embarrassing to them."
Fun little fact. Fun little fact.
Leon, we have to go another half hour until it is the end of Christmas Day in East Samoa.
I used to live very close to Penis. That's a true fact, and I wasn't aware of it because when I first met Penis, literally lived this near to each other. Penis is chaos, by the way.
Okay.
Well, I am sure that Chaos realized you lived that close together and was trying to hope you never found out.
It was one of those weird internet things, and possibly it may have happened to some of you people where you are maybe talking to somebody and you realize they're literally in the next house or something weird like that. It's weird.
I always
It was
wonder
definitely
about
odd.
that. If at any point I'm actually going to, like, you know, meet somebody on the street who has heard of my channel.
This is a
I
thing
think
that happened to me recently, and it's scary because not very long ago, somebody said to me, "Oh, you're still off the internet." Fuck. How does that happen?
You've your legend precedes you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back.
So I need you to do some Googling. Jeff or Stephanie can do it, or Chaos could do it because I'm in the UK. So could you find out if the shop is open today, please? Because I desperately need some cigarettes. Yes, Stephanie, I need cigarettes.
I'm sure you can find an open
Yeah,
shop.
Boxing Day,
So
I
what
would
do we-
think I'd be open.
There'll be a shop. There'll be a shop open certainly. And I don't know what
You
you've
would
got
think
next to you.
You would think so, would you not, Jeff? But because I'm a dick, I walked in the pissing down rain yesterday, or Christmas Day, whenever it was, and everything was shut. Completely dead.
Yeah,
I'm not-
you left your house yesterday.
Yeah, Christmas Day is a bit another matter in it. It almost, I mean, about the only thing that does open on Christmas Day are pubs, and that's only for a couple of hours.
No, even that was not a thing. You see, where I'm originally from, shops did not close. They were open all the time, even on Jesus' birthday. But apparently, and I did not get the memo, apparently in this land, nothing fucking opens on Christmas Day. Even
Well,
the
a lot of
pubs,
places,
Jeff. What the fuck?
a lot of places when they were open changed during COVID, and they never went back to the old way.
There was one thing that I never did understand about that, and that is, let's say you have a 24-hour store that's open, right? And you have, I don't know, 2,000 people that go through that store in 24 hours. Now, in a COVID situation, if you're trying to keep people from infecting one another, why would you cut the hours so that 2,000 people now, instead of being spread out over 24 hours, now only have 8 hours to patronize this place or
Well,
whatever else?
It was originally to give them more time to clean the store.
Yeah, the rationale was to give the employees time to disinfect everything.
But yeah, I get that. But now you have that 2,000 people crunched into an 8-hour
Yeah,
period of time.
Yeah, now it doesn't really make any sense to continue doing it though.
Right.
Yeah, give me back my 24-hour grocery store.
I liked to go, being an autistic, I love to go to like Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning because nobody was there. It was dark outside. So I could just get in and get out without having to deal with people.
Hey, that's also how Sloth Girl and I wound up with 50-inch TVs.
Yeah, also
because I was in Walmart at 1 o'clock in the morning when they were cleaning out the stock room, and they wheeled out this pallet of 50-inch TVs, and the manager was like, these are discontinued. What do we do with them? And he slapped a tag on them for $100 each.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Yeah, and also found the COVID transference through contact, like on surfaces, like a 1 in 10,000 chance. So spreading people out more through a 24-hour period actually does make more sense.
Yeah.
Than to worry about cleaning everything.
Yeah, once they have determined that, like you say, it's a very little chance of it just surviving on the surface long enough to infect anyone.
I guess to be fair, back then they did limit the amount of people going in the store. I remember the long lines that were formed outside the Walmarts and such.
Yeah, they had people counting, limiting how many people were in the building at one time.
Mm-hmm. I think the most interesting thing that I found was that I think it was 2000, we'll say 20, but there was only, before COVID, there was something like 2.5 million reported cases of, quote, the flu. And then after COVID started, it literally went from like 2.5 million to 4,000 cases only reported.
That's an important thing. And the anti-vaxxers have a real problem with this.
Yep.
That's because a whole bunch of people started wearing masks.
Well, we were wearing masks and we were doing the social distancing, so people weren't
Right.
getting close enough to spread viruses between each other.
And one
It's
thing I've
hardly
also
rocket
noticed is
science,
that
is
the
it?
cultural difference used to be about an arm's length for Americans, even a little bit closer, a little bit more inside before COVID. But even after COVID, I've noticed people still giving that 6 foot distance, which has created a cultural change.
People still use that distance unconsciously.
Yeah, I still do it. I still do it consciously.
I know I do.
I try to do it, and when other people don't do it, I may cough intentionally to get them to back off.
Brilliant.
Good idea.
I
Yeah, I
have
think-
to wear a mask in the winter when I go outside for my heart issues, because apparently the body doesn't like really cold air for some reason. Anyways, I get all these scowls from people that I'm wearing a mask, and I'm outside, where everybody says, "Oh, you don't have to wear a mask outside." Well, I do. Sorry.
Well, the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
thing living in Minnesota that I saw during COVID was all the people who were bitching about, wearing a piece of cloth over their face. Yeah, as soon as the temperature dropped down below freezing, they were all wrapping scarves over their face.
Yeah, I found my allergies were a lot less with the mask.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The one person that was actually close to me that passed during COVID hated mask and was a veterinarian.
I can't believe after all the, I don't know how there were many. I think there was like 4 or 5 different notable flat earthers died. during COVID
Yeah.
who are also anti-vaxxers, and it's like, how can the rest of you see your comrades in arms die, and you still don't believe it?
Well, actually, did you know that COVID evidently is a conscious being that hates Christians? Because literally in the United States, Christians were like 3 times more likely to die from COVID. Isn't that interesting?
Really interesting. It's
Replace
almost like
replace
there's
Christian
something
with
behind
Republican. Now
this.
doesn't sound.
And the Christians were basically the hugest anti-maskers, is my point.
Well, you know, they got Jesus protecting them, so
It didn't work very well, did it?
yeah.
The Jesus let us down during the COVIDs.
Well-
I do find it interesting what you just said there.
And let me
because-
backpedal there. I'm making light of this, and this is a very serious thing. And I
Yes.
would
Serious.
in no way want any Christians or anything to pass. My point is that with that view, with the religion, unfortunately, very unfortunately, those religious views literally killed people. And so I just want to be. I have much empathy there, and I'm very sad for that.
Yeah, it's not over. It's endemic now, and it did not have to get to this point of being
Yeah.
endemic.
Well,
I
and
don't feel that way, because this is a group of people, and it's, of course, we all know it's not all Christians. It's the zealot fundamentalists that are the ones I'm concerned about, are going around the world and passing these conversion therapies. Is actually making law to make them legal in some states where they previously were illegal. And those kill people, and they don't care because they're trans kids.
I just want to say one thing there. Okay, for the evangelicals, I was one. I think it's I don't want to say mental illness. These people are brainwashed, and they're human beings, and they are doing the wrong thing, and it does hurt people. And I completely agree with you in that respect. And on the other hand, to me, these are human beings that their minds are infected with very bad ideas that if it wasn't for religion, that wouldn't have occurred.
Yep.
Well,
Okay,
I
Stool had
understand
a
your point.
hand up.
I just have to disagree. That's all.
Stool had a hand up.
Are you impressed, Jeff? I've
Very,
been so
very
polite.
behave.
I'm very polite. I think we need to, just as a tangent, Purple, can we have a thingamajig that we can press? So when we need to speak.
Yeah, I wish that StreamYard had that, but it's not a feature available here.
I think Dave
I'd say
made a
that's-
very good point there. And shut up, Jeff, I'm talking. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you want to speak.
Okay, I keep encouraging everybody that every time you log out of StreamYards, it asks you for a comment. And I keep encouraging everybody to leave a comment that we need a raised hand feature.
That would be a good
Maybe-
thing.
There you go.
Well,
It's a
maybe-
raised
Fuck off.
finger.
I do not want to see that.
yeah,
That's why I'm off
Dude.
camera.
Put
you
your
know,
tits away.
maybe if they get 20,000 comments about the same feature, they may actually implement it in the next upgrade.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so what were you going to say, Stool?
Thank you, Dave. Dave, nice one, Dave. Well done. That was very professional. So I think it's important what Dave just said, because as humans, we are very shit at dealing with things that we don't understand or that scare us. And so we sometimes tend to laugh about things that we maybe should not. So we all know that we're not laughing at the fact that lots of people died during the COVID years, as I call them. It's incredibly sad. But what do we do? I mean, we've still got to always try to be, we've got to try to struggle on and be happy as best we can. That doesn't mean that we're not sorry that people have died. This is how not all humans, but this is how some humans cope with the bad shit in life. We laugh about things. Doesn't mean we're being mean or nasty. Just how humans do things. I've finished my TED talk now. Sorry.
I really want to know what Stephanie thinks on this.
I think that we're still in the COVID years and we haven't come to grips with it yet.
Oh yes,
Yep.
as Greggy Poos pointed out in side chat, COVID is not over. It's a thing that's
We haven't come to grips with it yet. We haven't. We you know, there's a tremendous amount of denial. You know, you see the denial everywhere. There are no gays. There are no trans people. There are no anything. I mean, it's like none of these things are real. Some people cling to that notion that that hatred's not real. That you know, none of this is real. And you know, if only we could make it all disappear, and we could legislate it out of existence. And then if you legislate it out of existence, you legislate people out of existence. And it's like, you know, it's all of this stuff. If
I'm
only,
going to give you.
if only there weren't troubles in life. If only we could legislate troubles away. And you can't. It's not the way the world is. Some things are facts.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. Real life is shit. It's not brilliant. It's hard. It's tough. It's whatever. Now,
It's
some people,
messy.
it's messy and it's shit. And, you know, some people can't deal with reality, and so they have to be cunts about it. Other people, and I'm now looking at all you fantastic people on my screen, some people accept that life is sometimes shit. Have a laugh
Messy.
about it, but don't be a
I
cunt.
like messy.
I know you do. I've seen the pictures.
Americans need to catch up on with the world news about COVID. It's nothing like we're being told here. Here we're still dealing with the original COVID, to a very small amount, and the most recent was the B1, B2 variants, whatever. We're still on some considered early variants. In China, there is a yet newer variant, which seems to be quite virulent. And
there's a lot of talk about China's.
Please let me finish.
Go ahead.
And is untouched by any of the vaccines that are out there. None of them are effective, except one that China's been working on since this was, you know, showed up, and they're making pretty good progress with it. But they've got 1 billion plus people to take care of. They have had people dying like we had dying in the first months and stuff of COVID, first 6 months of COVID, where we're stacking people in the streets and stacking people in freezer trucks and things like that, except it's even worse. Mm-hmm. They've had, I guess, like 150 million people dead from it already. It's going to be a raging storm. It's going to be devastating to a population, and it's going to come our way, just like it did the last time.
Exactly. There's a lot of talk right now, and I don't know if it's over exaggerated or what, but about China's economy literally collapsing.
Yes,
because it is so serious. And as Americans, it's just like with the Ukraine thing and this COVID thing is if it's not right in our face, we're just going to ignore it. Maybe that's just a human thing. But yes, you're absolutely correct. It's extremely serious still.
Well, that's the real fault I put on the
Mark,
US.
you're absolutely right. We'll never have the real numbers for China.
Well, those of us who are smart will start buying a supply of N95 masks and start stacking up some food stores in our houses, you know, for long storage, and just be ready.
Yeah.
There are literally Chinese people starving because they're locked in their buildings and so forth.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah,
I'm
they
concerned
can't
how
get food in
I'm
their house.
concerned how things are going to be in the U.S. if we hit yet another pandemic of something else, even possibly worse or just as bad, because our attitudes towards it are going to be different from this pandemic.
Well, you know, with what is the solution to these things? I think it's we need to care for each other.
Yeah. Well, our attitudes aren't going to be any different as long as we've got 30% of the population thinking that either it doesn't
That we
exist
don't
or it's
need
a
to
government
care
conspiracy.
So I mean,
that
you
we
know,
don't need to care for each other.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
well, that's
We've
what,
got the biggest problem. It's not, it's you go. I'm not keen on religion or anything, but it's like we need to care for each other. That's
Yep.
sort of the golden rule. It's like, well, what the fuck?
that's what's it. I'm the
Oh,
same
I
way.
think we
what is the problem, people? Let's not, if your book says you need to hate somebody, that's your book's wrong, and you need to care for people. We need to care for each other. This is what this stream was all about. We're caring for people who are left behind, who are left in situations where they don't have anyone to talk to. We're here to talk to each other. We are here to care for each other. That's the only thing we can do.
I'm going to add
I
something.
really
Can I add
don't
something quickly?
understand.
Can I add something quickly, Stephanie? Your words are, of course, correct. And yes, we need to talk, but what's the other thing that we need to do? Listen.
Yes. We absolutely. We need to listen to each other. That's part of caring. We need to do the dialogue. We
Okay.
need to eat the chocolatey cake.
Okay.
Okay, we have hit the bell.
Oh, great.
It
Hey.
is the end of Christmas Day has passed across the whole world.
He has survived it to 48 hours.
Oh, fuck. Now I feel sad.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Well, in Portland, Maine, we do this thing on Valentine's Day. We started this tradition. A bunch of us dirty fucking hippies used to go around and plaster Valentine's hearts all over the city. They were screen printed and now they're Xerox. Well, printed and put them on doors all over the place. And just to say, hey, let's care for each other. Let's do this. And one year we had a blizzard, and a number of the people that went around and put the hearts on all the buildings and all of this stuff, weather canceled us. So we did it the following day. And that year we put on the hearts. It's not just one day. We need to care for each other every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just Christmas. It's not just New Year's.
Stephanie, do you remember?
Yeah.
And we've been trying to give that message since we were hippies, Stephanie. And the people who don't want to listen are not going to listen, and they're going to die of COVID. Maybe this is nature's way of saying, okay, it's time to purge the system of these people who are just nothing but cantankerous.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the virus, they take out a lot of people who are trying to do the right thing.
Well, that's the way it goes.
I still go out on Valentine's Day and put those hearts around because I think it's worth saying. If people don't want to listen,
have to do an old
they're not
age.
going to listen.
You know,
And
I'm
I'm
not saying
guessing that-
don't do it, but just, don't burn yourself out on it, because you got to realize
No,
what's
I
that you're
don't burn
fighting.
myself out on it. It's just, but I don't think it's a useless expense of energy to keep saying it. I'm still that hippie chick. I don't think it's useless. I think you gotta keep doing that.
Do you remember Hill Street Blues?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
I know that you do, Jenny, because you're ancient. But if you
Oh
remember,
boy. Oh boy.
no, I'm being a good boy, Jeff. If you remember, there was always the scene where the boss police person was giving his briefing to the police people.
No, be careful out
And
there.
there you go.
Yeah.
I can always rely on Jenny to give me a fucking good quote that happened a million years ago. But it's true. And that's how I think of things, Let's be careful out there.
Yeah, my concern with if we do have another pandemic, like, we're going to have the fatigue from this last one. People who wore masks in this last one won't. People who if we had to do lockdowns again, people won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we'll have
Okay.
a lot more pushback against doing anything from
I-
the assholes in charge.
Yeah, I sometimes I wonder if our fucking species actually deserves to survive, quite frankly. But
I need to ask
I
a
do
question,
get a bit like that at times.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is your headache, Jeff?
It wasn't bad at all, and then I started talking to you.
Ooh.
Ouch.
I am gonna dip, guys. See you all later.
Okay. Well, it was good
Great
to
to
see you.
Great to see you again.
See
Jeff.
ya.
Yeah. Pop up
It was
more
great to see you
often.
all. Yeah, I intend to try to. I've finally got my fucking laptop fixed, so I don't have to use my phone that overheats in an hour.
That'll help.
There you go.
Yeah, see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey.
Well, I
Whilst
want to
we're
get out of here. I am pretty well exhausted.
Yep. I think we should wrap it up here, and we should all try to get some sleep.
We're all Christmased out.
Sounds perfect. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, Purple. And thanks everybody in the chat who throughout the last 48 hours who's born with us. And this has been great. I hope you've carried on.
So what
And
should
you're not
happen
alone.
now?
You're
What
not
should
alone.
happen-
You're not alone. We're not alone. Just we're here.
Definitely, that's a wonderful thing. What should happen now, but we can't do it because copyright. We need to fade to black, and the theme tune to Cheers should play.
No, we will just end with a Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Perfect.